What is up, my Lorcana Goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. You're watching the Friday Weekly Market Watch, where Zach Stone and I go over Lorcana news, meta trends, and card prices. My name's Kevin. We're going to go over, first of all, the new prize wall details for the DLC in Bologna, and I'm assuming this is going to be kind of what the prize walls are going to look like at the future DLCs. As we know, we have about 16 DLCs throughout the world, only 3 in North America, a couple in Europe, and a couple of CCQs, which are smaller third-party events where you can still win some of these like non-foil promos. But the DLC promos, man, that's where we're at. That's what I'm super excited about. Starting off with these 2 playmats you can get from the prize wall for 3,200 tickets. To kind of understand like how much these tickets are worth in value, it's 40 tickets for 1 pack of a Lorcana pack, and you need 3,200 tickets for one of these playmats. We have the Challenge Simba playmat or the Challenge Milan playmat, followed by some more pricing, the non-foil versions of Let It Go and Dragonfire, which we were able to acquire as foil versions of the previous DLCs. Non-foil Elsa Ice Maker. This is the non-foil version of the Top Cut promo. That's very rad, but probably what I'm most excited about is going to be these oversized cards, like the oversized Baymax Armored Companion. This is an official oversized card that you can win, guys, at these DLC tournaments, followed by a non-foil uncut sheet. And the reason I'm geeking out about this is because it's the first time that we've seen such collectible pricing at these DLCs, right, Zach?
100%, man. This is awesome. I wish we got to have these at the former DLCs, but we get to have these at the future DLCs, and it's going to drive me to go to almost all of them. I'm even considering the European ones, to be honest with you, Kevin. These prizes are insane. But what is up, my Lorcana Goons? It is Friday, and yes, it is time for the Market Watch. As you all know, this channel loves to go over the trends in the market, and we're going to talk about some interesting trends. But first, we have Whispers in the Well pre-orders already available on TCG Player. They are pre-selling for about $155 a box right now. That is above MSRP. I am not saying not to buy these pre-orders, just to kind of keep in mind that you may want to be patient. You may want to wait. You may not want to buy this early. Consider your also local game stores in your area to see if they have any pre-orders available. I know some stores will also do lower prices than this, especially in our local area. And Fabled right now is also at a little bit of a better price. We're seeing Fabled boxes drop down to around $145, $147, and that's about MSRP. And this is MSRP plus tax, in my opinion. You are now able to get Fabled at MSRP. It is finally time, guys. Go ahead and get your Fabled if you can find some.
Yeah, we were seeing this selling at 170 for the last couple weeks or so, and now we have the worldwide release. You can find Fabled at your local Targets, and we've been seeing more local game stores acquire more and more boxes. So I do expect the prices to come down a little bit, but again, this is the first set in a long time that we've seen sell for this much. I feel like people were getting rid of Azurite Sea, Arcasia's Island, Reign of Jafar. People were selling those for $90, $100 because they were kind of a harder move, right? But post-rotation, Fabled being one of the best sets to get people back into the game, or even to pull some of these insanely expensive cards like the iconic Mickey Mouse, which is actually selling for more than when it was 2 weeks ago. We did see this kind of settling at around $1,200 and near $1,000. Some sales happening that low, and as of recently, we're seeing more sales at around this $1,400 mark on the 19th, $1,450, on the 21st, the 23rd, 3 different sales for $1,498, basically $1,500. Although there is one sale here for $1,000, so that's a come up in my opinion. But lowest verified is now $1,895, so almost $2,000 for this Mickey Mouse Brave Little Prince iconic rare, right? The Minnie Mouse still selling for around less than 1,800, but this Mickey Mouse going back up pretty quickly. I feel like we saw this at around 1,000, and I thought it was going to settle there, but no, it's already jumping back up to near that $2,000 mark. And you can actually acquire some extra packs from this new Fabled gift set that features the Elsa on the cover right here, the Elsa Fit Spirit promo. It's a pretty cool promo card that you can acquire when getting this gift set that comes out next week, but you might be able to find these at your local game stores this week already. It comes with that 1 Glimmer Foil, 5 random packs from sets 5 through 9, and then the storage box with some extra dividers. But some more ways to get some Fabled packs to maybe pull an iconic Mickey, right?
Yeah, I don't believe Fabled comes in the gift set though, Kevin. I think it's just 5 through 8 from what I was hearing it on the
Oh, well,
Lorecast.
that
Yeah, I just
hurts.
wanna.
That hurts a lot because it's called the Fabled gift set, so it's a little misleading.
Yeah, this was also in the Azurite Sea gift set. They kind of did the same thing where
Oh
it was
yes.
sets 2 through 5, I believe. So it's in the same context that, like, hey, at least you're getting stuff for the core constructed format. We do know that Infinity cards, unless they were reprinted in Fabled, are no longer available for that competitive play. So you are for sure getting some stuff for your competitive format, including that new Glimmerfoil Elsa, which I expect a lot of people to be in demand for. Man, Elsa's never gonna go above like $5 at this
No.
point. Like this is gonna be the more expensive one for sure.
Yeah, you have the starter deck version, non-foil and foil, and then you have this new glimmer foil. I'm pretty excited for it because I like the glimmer foil for the Lilo, the escape artist. I think it's pretty cool. So I am excited to make my purple deck shiny with the Elsa with that new Elsa glimmer foil. Let's talk about Tiana, the restaurant owner. Last time we checked up on this card, Zach Stone, she was sitting at near $30 to $35, but the market price is 36, and the lowest verified just keeps climbing up higher and higher. Now we're at $38.99 by Top Cut Collectibles, $39.99 by OCG Inc., which is the next person, then $40 by Penniless Card Shop. This is a $40 legendary now. Might be making its way. It might be the most expensive legendary in Lorcana right now, right next to Clarabelle, a Light on Her Hooves, which is also getting very close to that $40 mark. Not as close as Tiana. Right now we're at $32.40, $32.42 here by GT TCG Company, and it kind of trickles around this like $35 mark at the bottom of the page by Health Points TCG. So huge shout out to you guys. I'm confidently saying Clarabelle is like a $35 legendary right now. Sapphire Emerald, one of the best decks. I'm just saying. I think that is going to be such a big contender in terms of what like to expect in the meta, not only this coming weekend, but DLC Bologna, which is next weekend already, man. We're having our first official DLC of the Fabled format next week, Zach. So I'm pretty confident Emerald Sapphire is going to be highly represented. And a lot of these cards, man, I'm showcasing these prices again because they just keep surprising me with how expensive they are right now, which is a good thing. This Basil from the what's set 8? Set 8 is a Ranger Fard. The Basil from Ranger Fard, you know, this is a more recent card that just came out, so there's not too many running around, and you're gonna have to pay at least $6 from what it's looking like. Wilder Gaming here for your Basil, the undercover detective.
Yeah, Basil is just a card that like I get asked for a lot. Like I actually ran out of Basils, and I do vend at the Frankenstein's Collectible Show here in Southern California. That is open every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Kevin does vend at the Ninja Exchange in the shops of Carlsbad, open every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So make sure to stop on by if you're here to buy or sell any cards. And I'm just gonna clearly mention that any non-foil Basils, I'm willing to pay up to four almost $5 each on. Like, you know, the first playset that comes by on Saturday, I'll buy up to $5 each on. And after that, we'll go from 4. But I need some more Basils, and this is just a really good card in the blue-green strategy. Cold foils right now are also around like $14, $15. So if you have your cold foil, well, you know, I would argue that they could easily be up to $20. You know, there's only so many, and you can't really buy a playset without at least spending up to $20 right now. Basil's a really strong card. I think that the high cost impact onto the board and being able to just to rip cards at random from the hand when you quest has to just be like the icing on the cake for what Emerald Sapphire is trying to do.
Yeah, there's like 3 things I like about this card. Number 1, it has 2 abilities, 2 very relevant abilities. They're both good. On play ability, remove a character from the board, really high tempo. Second play, and I've said this before many times on the channel, I love when characters have an ability that triggers when you quest. It's so good. It's a double whammy. You're telling me I get 2 lore and I get to discard an opponent's card from their hand at random? So nice. And Basil's kind of a skill check, dude. I play this card a lot, and so many people don't pick up and read the card. They don't even realize he has a second effect. Sometimes they just put their hand to 1 card left, and I quest, and I tell them, discard your hand with Basil now, and they look at me like I'm crazy. Like they had no idea that what this card did. That's what I like about this card too. Kind of a skill check. You guys need to know the card pool. Zach Stone, thank you very much for politely pointing that out, that we are vending and buying in many of these cards at our vendor booth. So please stop on by. Yeah, same thing, dude. This card comes and goes very quickly. So there's a lot of rares and super rares that I am also paying a little high on. John Silver is another card that I want to mention from the Sapphire Emerald deck. This legendary kind of settling at around $5 right now. This is the first chapter version. You can also find this as a reprinted legendary in Fabled, but for it being a legendary from first chapter and Fabled reprint, I think it's the most expensive one. I think this John Silver is more expensive than the Elsa, the Surfer Stitch, the Robin Hood. It's $5, but it's still one of the most expensive ones. And I just think that's because it's still a relevant card you can play right now. I want to talk about the Strength of a Raging Fire promo. It's so cool that we have a League promo that is selling for $6 because of how playable it is. And I like the artwork on this one more than the original. Sorry, not the artwork. I like the foiling. I like the foiling on this one more than the original Strength of a Raging Fire and more than the reprinted Strength of a Raging Fire. Zach, I know you play with the set 2 versions, and I believe somebody asked you if you wanted the promos, and you said no. You're okay. You like the set 2 versions more, right?
Yeah, I'm very much I'm an OG player as far as it goes.
I like that.
I
Yep.
like my original foils. I personally just like the lighter color on the bottom, but I understand like my cards wanting to look the same. I also do have more experiences with warping with the newer foils than I do with the older foils. So I gravitate to more of the older ones. One, because of nostalgia, and two, I also own them already. I don't have to go get more copies of the newer cards since I can play with my older copies. For those that didn't know, you can still play with your older copies. And yeah, this bell, promo bell, I have to say, is the blue bell is worth more than the purple bell. A lot of people were farming the purple bells at the DCA parks this entire month, and you can no longer do that. But this bell was only available, I think, that Friday of the official quest event when it first dropped, and that was it. After that, you could not get this bell anymore. They were gone within the first 4 hours of the park being opened, and right now on TCG Player, they have them for you at $75, and you can find lower or cheaper cost ones on eBay at around the price that they are selling for on TCG Player, to be quite frank with you. So do kind of do your research on this one. If you are willing to support on TCG Player, just remember that eBay does own TCG Player.
Yeah, and you can also check OfferUp and stuff like that. If you're a local Southern California resident, it's going to be a lot easier to lowball for this card and the Bell and the Beast promo if you're in person. What's up?
We have to mention you can get this at the New York Disney. I forgot what it's called. The New York Disney store.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Upstairs they had the promos. You can get one of each: the Belle, the Anna, and the Elsa when you buy like product. And
Is that still going on right now?
Yes, I want to shout out Shady Peach for dropping that info, and as well for stopping by the booth and always giving me those deals. But the fact that he went to New York on his vacation and found that out and shared that information in our Discord, which you can find in our link below, he was very helpful to let that information be known. So I do want people to be aware of that if you are in the New York area as well.
Wow, dang, you heard it here first, folks. Market Watch, Lorcana Goons exclusive info. Shout out Shady Peach, shout out Zach Stone over here. Yeah, they're giving away $75 worth of promos plus 3 promo cards in New York. That's really cool, man. That's actually really dope. I love Shady Peach. Guys, a go. And I love the Lorcana community. I feel like the fact that we don't gatekeep this information is really cool. So spread the information, spread the awareness around. Tell your homies from New York to go pick up some Lorcana products and maybe mail you those promos, right? If you guys didn't know, you get some new promos if you join the Disney cruise. It featured a Mickey Mouse. We had some of the Donald Duck and Minnie Mouse pirate characters and a Goofy expert shipwright. We have a low listing here for $400 on TCG Player. Recent sales at $200 though. So just let you know, you can find these on TCG Player now or on eBay, and these promos are pretty pricey. So if you're someone who likes to collect the promos, these are going to be sitting pretty high up there right now. But maybe take a trip with the family, go on a Disney cruise and acquire a set yourself, because each one's selling for around $200, right? Do you want to talk about some cold foils that are meta relevant right now? Monstro, the infamous whale, I feel like is becoming very, very popular in Blurple at the moment. Been seeing it a lot, been losing to this card a lot lately, and the prices are going up for the foils. Lowest verified, it's going to be Pastel Genesis for $10.99. That's going to be shipping included. Then Victory Point as well, $9.32 with $1.79 shipping. So around $11 for your cold foil Monstro infamous whales. Madam Mim Tiny Adversary. This is a card that Zach Stone pointed out to me a little while ago. This used to be $1 foil. This is $1 cold foil, chat. Today, $13 what you gotta pay by FRG Collectibles. Lowest verified, $12.51. Then Big Bob's Bulk, love that name, $11.75 with $1.21 shipping. So around $12 to $13 for your cold foil Madam Mim Tiny Adversaries. Kind of interesting because I feel like this card doesn't see too much play. Like, it's a meta tech card, and I feel like it makes its way into a lot of like Amethyst decks, like an Amethyst Steel every now and then, but when I think of like the big Amethyst decks right now, Sapphire Amethyst and Amethyst Steel, I don't picture Madam Mim Tiny Adversary in those decks as an automatic like inclusion. Why do you think this is so expensive?
It's starting to become a better two drop in Amethyst Steel per se. I know Lurple's two drop is just ramp. It should only focus on playing the ramp on two, but Amethyst Steel, I know people are also playing like Amethyst Emerald, and you can get away with like some decently sized bodies. You do have to keep in mind that there are some evasive threats that you have to worry about. So having the additional reach, like the Diablo, the blue green dual link Diablo, to get rid of opposing genies when you have this Madam Mim, can help, right? There's other reasons why. I also kind of want to just pivot back to the Monstro. Just one for one point is that it's really good into the blue green matchup. 6 strength means heads held high cannot under the sea it away. And it is just something that I kind of wanted to bring up there. But this Madam Mim Tiny Adversary has also seen a lot more play, and it's a lot harder to get some Azurite C from what I've also been hearing through the grapevine. Some people have been looking for more of the product right now because they need some more singles from it. I know Calhoun's and Genies are very popular, and that's also from the same set. So you might have to consider getting some Azurite C. There also is some other cards to kind of go over too right now, like the Baymax Giant Robot. This is another card actually from Arcasia's Island. However, cold foils are around like $5 to $6. I actually kind of want to mention that it's hard to buy multiple like copies from one seller. You literally have to buy from 4 different sellers to get a playset. It is a challenge of how much you're gonna have to spend on shipping, unless you decide to shop on like buy more cards from those sellers, because you have to get a good deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, them deals. That's why I like dealing with people in person better. You can always ask them for some deals, maybe get a playset and pay $5 to $6 each on them instead of having to pay $7 each from 4 different sellers online. Definitely support your local game stores or your local card game vendors and ask them if they have some of these cards, like the Troubadour musical narrator. This card was seeing some popularity recently because it was featured in the Amber Steel CCQ winning decklist by Sky, and today selling for around $4 to $5. Lowest verified Snake Wings 325 with $1.25 shipping, and it kind of sticks around this like 350 360 area with some extra shipping. So I could confidently say people would sell it to you for around $4 to $5 alongside something like Hypnotic Strength, which is a common foil that is definitely expensive this format. One of the best outs to Iago in my opinion, alongside something like Improvise. On play, draw a card, give one of your characters some extra strength. You choose an Iago, it's banished because of its vanish ability. No wonder it's a $5 to $6 cold foil. Look at this, we have Chogg's Lorcana cards, $3.99 with some extra shipping. Then Fettuccine here, $4.99 with some extra shipping. And then it jumps to $5.99, so it's almost a $6 cold foil. Zach, I wanted to mention some enchanted slash full art cards. We have Vanellope Vaughn Sweets from the D23 promo. A lot of the D23 promos went to below $20 when they got re-released, because if you guys didn't know, that 323 gift box set was released in 2024, but they had a re-release earlier this year. You were able to win a raffle and get these online, and I feel like when that happened, a lot of people kind of panic sold their promos that they had loose, and they were selling them for around $14-15, but today lowest verified is now $26.40 by selling trading cards. It's like double the price if you bought them for $13, right? That's pretty good in my opinion. This card just jumping back up. What do you think?
Definitely think it's an interesting thing to look at, as we can see how much the D23 promo boxes are as a sealed set. So you might want to keep in mind with like how much the single cards are in comparison to how much the sealed set is. And you know, the Basil Disguised Detective Enchanted, as much as I am not a fan of discard decks, I am a fan of how much this card has gone up in price, because this card has always been one of my favorite enchanteds from this set, just as far as it being an originally an uncommon upgraded to an enchanted, which I don't think they really do too often. I think there's a couple more that they've done like that.
Very true.
But
Very true.
just a very good ability, a shift character, being able to use in blue green to sing Under the Sea as early as turn 3, actually, because you can go turn 1 Basil, turn 2 Tipo, and then you can shift Basil or shift Baymax on top of the 1-drop Basil, and there's your 8 for Under the Sea. So those Amber Steel aggro decks that we were just talking about can get put into the bottom of the deck, but this is probably why this enchanted has gone up to around $110 from verified sellers. Shout outs to Ninja's Cat Card Shop over there. So yeah, you never know. Maybe the store over there is has got some lady dogs, even though they're a cat shop. But the dogs right now are starting to see a lot more play. We see Colorless popularizing the Sea Dogs deck, and this lady enchanted hasn't gone up too much just yet. I'm curious to see when that would would happen. But if anything, it might be a good deal right now. We're seeing copies as low as around like $105. But if you do want to take a further look at some verified sellers, you're gonna have to pay at least $135.
Yeah, maybe take a risk and get it from a non-verified seller, get a little bit of a discount. That $30 discount's pretty hefty. But yeah, I have been seeing the Amber Emerald Dogs deck to find some success. It's kind of a harder deck to pilot if you want to play the aggro strategy, I think. And I think that's why this Enchanted hasn't gone up as much as something like Tiana, which has been seeing a lot more hype because it is kind of the aggro deck to pivot to. But I do like this deck a lot. I am not surprised that the verified sellers have it at 130. And I think it's only a matter of time before all these listings at less than 150 are going to vanish away, because this is like one of the best cards in the dog deck next to the Tramp, the Tramp 2 cost, right? I do want to mention Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard, because I was pretty shocked to see that this card is still selling for $200+. This is a vanilla. This is just a vanilla in Lorcana. I do like that it has no ability because you could just see the artwork. Like, it's just more room for art. That's why I really enjoy it. I haven't seen this card in person yet. Though it's verified today, though, you're gonna have to pay at least $220 if you want to get it online, and that's land in front. Some other sellers have it for around $200, but then look at this. It jumps to Mystic Store Canada $268 with $5 shipping, and then AA seller $369. So there's about 6 listings. There's 2 verified listings at less than 300, and the other 4 are non-verified at around 200. So not too many available online. I think if you can find this in person or something like that for around $200, it seems pretty good. This is a very likable Enchanted alongside stuff like Powerline, the world's greatest rock star. Not the most meta relevant Enchanted, but still selling for around $150+. Unlucky Ninjas we have here, $155. I Win Games next verified seller for $169. Only 8 listings available, and these sell pretty often. That's kind of what I want to mention. From the 24th to the 26th, there's already 5 sales happening from anywhere from $130 to $150 for this Powerline. And you and I both know, like, people aren't running Powerline at their local game store tournaments all the time. Like, this is just pure collectability, because this is selling more than some of the meta Enchanted, right?
Yeah, they hit it out the park with the collectability on the Enchanted and the Iconics in this set. I know some people personally that were looking to get some power lines and some eye-to-eye goofy movie Enchanted characters, and they weren't able to pick them up before they spiked up. And I do kind of want to talk about this Max Goof chart topper here, because we are seeing some Emerald Steel deck lists start to popularize more than a couple copies of this card right now. And the amount of listings between like the Honey Wizard, the Power Line, and the Max Goof, all under 10, and this one's going insane. It's around $160 right now for your lowest verified seller, and it jumps up to $210. I think right now that the $160 might just be like the bar, and it might just be where the price should be at. Once it gets picked up, you never know. Some people might want to compete to sell it, because it's selling for around $140 right now, and I don't think it's going to last very much longer after this. So you might want to pick up your Max Goof Enchanteds while it's still available, but who knows? I see that this card could be good later in the future of the game too, with the more songs being released. But Enchanted Tianas, we did talk about the non-foils being as low as $40. We talked about this one too a few weeks ago being as low as around like $100, and that's not the case anymore. They're around like 130 to 140, and Tianas right now are seeing a lot of play in Amber Steel aggro decks. It's a very strong card. It is a princess to combined with the new Aurora Holding Court. Playing this on turn 2 is diabolical.
Yeah, but I'm playing it back to back on turn 2 and turn 3 is just straight up mean. But that's what happens a lot when you go first with Amber Steel. Turn 2 Tiana, turn 3 Tiana, turn 4 Pluto. Your opponent cannot do anything unless they play Under the Sea, like unless they're going blue-green basil shift Under the Sea. But yeah, very strong card. I'm glad to see the Enchanted Rares getting the respect it deserves, because we did see some sales as high as 150, 170 last weekend. It kind of did settle at this 140 mark. We do see one listing at 125 before it jumps up to 160. So maybe you want to consider picking up that in Tiana for your last Enchanted if you want to finish your Enchanted playset or something. But Zach, I want to go over this auction that's going on golden.com. If you guys know what this website is. It's like a high stakes bidding place where you can get rid of like really expensive cards. We did see some golden Mickeys sell on this platform, and we got news that there's an auction going on for a 2023 first chapter uncut sheet. Now, we kind of went over the uncut sheets in the beginning of this video because you can win some of them for prizing, but they're not first chapter uncut sheets. No, no, no. This one has a Goons in it. This one's got Goons on it, multiple Goons, and even a little discard right there. That's kind of cool. Very interesting. Very interesting. There's an auction going on. I believe right now the next bid would be $500, so that doesn't seem too pricey right now. But it's got some time left. Got some weeks left. It starts on the 20. Oh, it hasn't even started yet. So it starts on the 29th, and it's looking like it's gonna be going on for a couple weeks or so. So that's pretty interesting. If you guys know any high value Lorcana collectors, yeah, I think this is a pretty cool piece of Lorcana history. What do you think?
It's really cool. I was, if somebody on our Discord did reach out and kind of, asked us to talk about it. We decided to do this because we like this kind of stuff. Personally, it's got Goons on it, so I think that's kind of what sold us there. And two, it's not something you see often. I know that there's going to be uncut sheets at Bologna and Milwaukee as far as prize wall tickets go, but like Kevin just say, it's not only not going to be first chapter, this is just also probably like the first printing of the first chapter. So there's some sort of like added special collectability to that. I know some people talk about first print, first chapter, which is something we don't go over much on this channel, but it's just to highlight the year that the wave of when first chapter was being released and produced, the year it was made. So this was during like the first wave, and this is something to really consider. So yeah, big piece of Lorcana history and something really, really special. But yes, guys, this is going to wrap up our Friday weekly market watch. I do have a couple shout outs. First, I did want to shout out again Shady Peach for always dropping by and providing some excellent Lorcana inventory to my booth at Frank & Sons. And another special shout out to the King and Queen Wizard themselves. They are the ones that helped me get my honey wizard for my awesome girlfriend. So really appreciate you guys. Thank you again.
Very awesome. We appreciate you guys for supporting not only our vendor spaces IRL, but for supporting the channel as well. So if you guys can, like, comment, and subscribe if you like this content, because that's one of the best ways to support the Lorcana Goons dream. But yeah, looking forward to this weekend. I believe we have a CCQ happening this weekend, so we're going to see some results there. DLC Bologna is coming up very soon. Next week we're going to see what the best deck of the format is that weekend, and I'm excited to see where these prices are going to go, as well as these meta trends. So remember guys, be sure to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons, and we'll see you guys next time.